Hello, YouTube. I've just been chatting away to myself like an idiot. It wasn't even fucking recording. Anyway, so you're going to have to forgive, like, the state of whatever's going on with my lips here. Like, I can't be asked to sort it out, to be quite honest. It suits. Look, I got a chipped tooth. I got a scar on this lip. I'm not sure you can see that, but basically, them not being quite right. I don't know why I'm putting it out this much, so that you can look at me the whole time like, what the fuck are they done there? Wait until you analyse these. Fuck. Anyway, we're gone out. So, I have a YouTube channel, but it's for music, noise, and chaos, and like just hell, which is often what's going on inside. So, this is going to be a bit different. I'm going to try and make like a personal YouTube channel, and this is going to be sort of for me. Hopefully people might watch, probably not. I'm a bit of a weirdo, so I'm not sure why you would. But I'm just going to make this a very quick intro, and then I will probably talk about various things. This basically for my own head's sake at the moment. So, starters, my name is Jack Partridge. Although I go by Lola, which I know. I love it, okay? I call myself Lola Bharaiva, and I have done for like 10 years. Up until that, I called myself Mara Cassie. Anyway, so I'm 29, and I am gay as anything, is one way of putting it. I've been cross-dressing pretty much forever, but for the first like 18 years of my life it was totally in secret, like whenever my mum was out, and then I used to sneak away like either on the weekends or every other week for a few days at a time. And this was until I was about 19, and I'd just go and stay at older guys' houses just so that I could like live as Lola for a little while each week, because I was just far too scared to say anything to anyone. A little bit more about me then. So I cross-dressed in secret most of my life. At 19, I actually left my hometown, went homeless, which was a blessing, a total blessing. So I left my hometown at that point. I actually managed to find myself living with somebody who knew, so I could live as Lola for the first time, all the time, and that was great. Since then, I haven't really looked back, although life has had some mad changes at times, so it's not been as full as I would have liked it to be, but for the most part, it's been great. And for the past 6 years, I have lived full-time as Lola, as you would say, in terms of, like, you know, I don't really go out as Jack anymore. Not that there's much difference, don't get me wrong. So, this is where we'll go. This is the catalyst to the channel. If I try and sum this up really, really quickly, I started hormones, finally, about 11 weeks ago, which is, admittedly, about 14, 15 years too late. So I'm 29. I've been doing this for bloody ever, but I was really ashamed of myself when I was younger, and I was like very, very depressed. Ultimately, this ended up with me trying to log out. Yeah, so that wasn't good. So I started to accept it a little bit more after that point. Sorry, my hair's such a, like, it's always a bit of a mess, but I left everything too late, didn't I? Anyway, give me 2 minutes and I'll try and sum myself up really quickly. Name is Jack. I go by Lola. I prefer Lola. You can call me whatever the hell you like. One of my neighbours still just calls me dude. You right, mate? You right, dude? He does like me online shopping for me and stuff as well. He brings it round to the door. He's like, you right, dude? It's like my medical records even say Lola now. Stop. No, I couldn't care less. Just being dramatic. So, Jack, I like to go by Lola. I am a cross-dresser. And I've been cross-dressing since I was very little, but mostly in private. For the past 6 years, I have lived full-time as Lola, and haven't really gone out at all as Jack. Thank God for that. By I was a very depressed person. So, that's kind of where we're at. I am now taking hormones, finally. And so that is actually the catalyst for this YouTube channel. Because I am prone to get down. And I always have been. It's not all gender stuff, but it's mostly gender stuff. And the more I've spoke with doctors and got my referrals and letters and stuff, the more it's gender stuff. But there was other stuff when I was a kid. It wasn't just gender stuff. That might have been like the driving force behind a lot of like isolation and depression and not going out and not talking to people and stuff. It's really weird. It's like I don't like being Jack, but I was too afraid to go out as Lola. So for quite a lot of my life, I just didn't go out. Unless you knew who I was in advance over the internet and then you came and picked me up. And then it was fine. If I was in a different place, a different town other than my hometown, I didn't care. Anyway, so really what I'm doing the channel is I started hormones 11 weeks ago, which is fantastic, and it didn't take very long at all once I actually got the ball rolling. If I get the ball rolling, what I mean is once I actually went and spoke about it, oh my god, within like 3 days I had meds. And that has been great, but it's also done one thing that I really didn't expect, and it's made me being 29 feel so much more obvious. That sounds stupid. That's such a millennially... I'm not millennial. I don't know what these things are. It's just a very modern way of putting stuff. Like, you're coming up to 30. It's not the end of your life. But, oh my god, doesn't it feel like it? Because I should have done all of this when I was 14. But I was too scared. And I can't believe that I've gone and done it now. I'm like, well chuffed that I'm getting this stuff. But it's just really hammered home how late I am. I've been able to like just live in my own little bubble for so long that I've like, it's not mattered. I know I don't look like a woman, but everyone's just treated me like one forever, and I've just not had to freak out and worry about it all the time. Oh my god, I'm freaking out and fucking worrying about it now. I left it too fucking late, and that's like well depressing. Because you can't change that. I can't change that. I can't shrink these shoulders, you know. I wish I could. I wish I could fucking bring them down a good 2 inches. Wouldn't that be great? You know, I can't do much about this fucking masculine, hideous fucking face. That's not going to change. You'll have to get used to these teeth. I'm pretty unashamed at this point. Basically, I'm a fucking guy, and I fucking hate it. And it's like my bubble burst once I got the hormones, because then it was like, oh my god, that was really easy. They listened to everything I said. They seemed quite concerned. Why didn't I do this when I was 14? Well, I'll tell you why, because I was fucking shitting myself. And I was scared, and I couldn't accept myself, and I didn't like myself at all. I thought I was just a fucking freak. And arguably you could say I am, but that's not just because of trans stuff again. So, there we go. I am in a place. I'm 29. Crossdresser who has finally started taking hormones like 11 weeks ago. I should call myself trans, but look at me. You know, this is the problem that I'm coming up against. I never really wanted to like socially transition when I was younger, as people call it. It's not something I actually thought about at all. I've gone a bit wild there. It wasn't something I thought about. I just didn't like how I looked, like in the mirror, on my own. It just wasn't right. It's not how it. Yeah. So, a little bit fucked up. Got some issues. Hard to explain. It's more like a body integrity thing, if you know what I mean, rather than yeah. So you can call me what you like in the comments and stuff. And like, if you do, if anyone watches this, you don't have to beat around the bush. You don't have to be on tender hooks or anything like that. No. Don't know really what I'm going to do with this channel. I'm probably just going to try and keep myself sane. And probably just talk about things as they come up. There'll be a lot, and some of it's going to have to be really moderated for YouTube, and we'll find ways. I've had a pretty wild life. I've been what you might call like a lady of the night, or a boy of the night, like a company for hire for like 8 years. So I've got some pretty wild tales. I was homeless for quite a lot of years whilst doing this, going from person to person's house with lots of clothes and living, well, you know, basically trafficking myself to wherever I felt accepted. So I did it all in a really bad way. Lots of sordid William Burroughs-esque stuff went on. It wasn't all happy. Definitely wasn't all good. Some of it fucking downright awful, but some of it was magical. Some of it was heavenly and like perfect. And if paradise is half as nice, then thank God for the bloody privilege. That's what we tell ourselves. So there's like lots of candid tales. Obviously, I was sneaking out very young to go and live as Lola from like 14 onwards. I have to be very careful talking about that sort of stuff, because everyone that was hosting me at that age was obviously like fully grown adults that I had like convinced to let me come over and be a girl. And I wouldn't want any of those people getting in trouble. And I know some of them might deserve it, but I was very much the instigator of everything and never did anything sexually ever with any of these people. It was always there was always a good understanding, and I got very lucky. There was only ever 2 scary situations during that whole period of my life. A lot more since. But yeah, I was really lucky growing up like that. So I've got like a very slightly odd perspective. I was not open about it when I was younger, but I lived like it. And I kind of relied on older people to get me through things, and I would just live this double life for so many years. And then, due to other problems related to, like, not wanting to be Jack, but being a bit too scared to go out as Lola, that also meant, like, not holding a job down or anything, and that ended up with, like, homelessness for a while as well, and getting pulled into this different world, which I had no idea about, and starting to put myself out there as a worker, as you'd call it, to be safe. But that was a nightmare period. That initial period ended up with me in hospital and stuff, and I went to go stay at my dad's for quite a long time after that. So there's stories and tales to come, but that will be somewhere down the line, because a lot of that's I've just got to figure out how to say things on YouTube and stuff, and how to make things private enough. But mostly, I'm probably just going to rant and ramble. There's a few catalysts. One, I'm really depressed. I won't beat around the bush. I'm, like, really depressed. When I was younger, I used to self-harm a lot, and it was related to the gender stuff. But that culminated in, like, a S attempt, which didn't work out, obviously, in some ways, but... So I guess I'm quite concerned about how quickly I'm slipping back into that, without saying too much. Like, you're not going to see short sleeves on this channel, put it that way. Yeah. So that's got really bad. A couple of my friends died last year, which seems like a small thing. But, well, not a small thing, of course, but like, what's that got to do with it? But it does. And then my partner had a stroke in February, and it was really, really bad. And I left the house for quite a while. I didn't like being here on my own. It was doing me head in. But all of these things have been like markers of times passing. And that was the main catalyst to be like, oh my fucking god, I'm 29, not 19. I've got to go do the hormones now before it gets too late. I can't leave any later. I'll be fucking. I won't make it that much further. Not now all my bubbles are bursting. So, look at that fucking thing. You have no idea that I've felt towards that bloody thing over the years. Very good job I haven't tried shaving it down myself. So yeah, it's gonna be like a coping channel, really. I'm just gonna talk about all this shit. And also there is, I was talking to my partner about this earlier, there's another thing I want to do, which is like, basically because I've been so anxious and shut in all my life, I've just gone from older guy to older guy to older guy forever. Like, people who were like, I don't know how to put it, but would just treat me like I was female, basically. It didn't have to be anything sexual at all like that, but like, because of how I've done it, it's like I haven't really. And then because I got tied into the working, and then a boyfriend a long time ago convinced me to put some videos online, and that fucking ruined my life. 99% of people that have ever been in touch with me since that day just treat me like I'm like some sort of fucking object, and I hate it. I don't look good enough to be some object. Fucking treat me like Genesis P-Orridge or something, hey? Don't treat me like fucking. You'll be well disappointed if you do. Yeah, so that fucked loads of things up. Basically, it all started off really innocent for me, the whole dressing and stuff, and that's why I kind of kept it really like to myself. And over the past like 8 years, it's become sordid and ruined, and a lot of the things that I love have been like tainted and corrupted and just destroyed. A lot of my ideals, a lot of my passions, a lot of it's just been like spat up and thrown in my face like dirty tissue. Large amounts of who I am and my identity and stuff have just been boiled down to like a toy of sorts. It's just all become very sick in a way that if I had done things differently, or if I had some like trans friends when I was young, or if I'd stuck hanging out with some girls. My best friend when I was a kid was like a girl, and like, you know, I should have stuck with all that, but I just dropped out of school. And so I'm going to go through like a lot of my mistakes, a lot of my regrets, which isn't very fun. There will be good stuff too, don't worry. Yeah, so a lot of it's just going to be processing, and like, how the fuck did I get to this point, and why didn't I do it sooner? Some of it will be very candid stuff, and some of it will just be really banal, talking shit just to talk. So the other two catalysts, and these are going to be kind of shout-outs, which, you know, I don't. No one's going to watch this, so it doesn't matter. But one of them I feel really bad for mentioning, but as it's a reason why I'm doing this, I was looking for, as I tend to do. Well, lately I've been looking for like DSBM, black metal and depressive black metal, and noise album reviews by female or trans people, and there's just, you know, it's a pretty niche market. You've got like This Machine Kills Music, yeah, and I put the S in DSBM, so that's about it. But I stumbled across this girl called Melanie, who's like a 16-17-year-old trans person, I think. They did like their 10 favourite DSBM albums or something, and they were great. It was really funny. Something about them just won me over. So, weirdly, I can't really watch their channel because they're too young. So I can't watch it, unfortunately. They're 12 years my junior, and I feel like, oh god, I can't watch this, but lots of luck. And if there's any younger trans people in the audience, go and check her out. She's really cool, and I wish when I was like 16, 17, I fucking wish I had someone like that around. So, like, yeah, that's been a bit of a thing. It's like one of the only people I've seen talk about anything that I'm interested in, and just, I don't know, she's just quite kind of inspiring, and I wish that I had done it at that age. So go and give her some love and support if you see this. And the other one is someone called I Put the S in DSBM. And she was like a Spanish lady, girl. She's quite young. Doing DSBM, depressive black metal album reviews. You'll just have to forgive that, it's so compulsive. So she does DSBM album reviews. She hasn't uploaded for like 3 years, which makes me think bad things. But also, that was like the only channel I could find that was doing DSBM album reviews from like a slightly less masculine perspective. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but like all I ever watch is like this dude called Music of Destruction and some guy called Wyatt and like Great Measures, and it's all just guys, you know. So it'd be nice to have something a bit different. So they're all like the catalysts for making this slightly weird, talkative channel. Basically, all I'm going to do is go through my stuff, go through stuff that's going on in there, stuff that's going on in there. And yes, this is on back to front. Which I can't tolerate. Now that I've noticed. Oh my god, what do I... I've got to be really careful because I don't moderate anything I'm not used to being like on like normal camera or something. I live with my boyfriend and I say whatever I want whenever I want. say what you feel, you know, because those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind, whatever it is. Or yeah. So I've got to be a bit careful on YouTube because I know you can't say everything all the time in the way that you'd like to. Well, I certainly can't. God, I could barely do it in public or with people in private, let alone on... Anyway, I've got some controversial views and stuff. This is why it was so hard for me to accept myself growing up, though, because I just didn't think it was right. Don't take that wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with trans people. I might have already said, like, one of my best friends... I won't say his name, but one of my best friend's mum's best friend was trans, and I used to think they were great. I used to go smoke joints at the table with her when I was visiting. Oh, I wish I'd been braver. I wish I'd been so much braver. I've got so much like trauma and hang-ups and just so much shit built up over the years from basically not being brave enough. And so I'm going to try and unravel all of that on camera, somewhat publicly, kind of candidly, hopefully to erase the Lola Bharaiva image that is known and make something a bit more fucking human, you know? I'm not just like a lot of things that I liked got tainted and I want to reclaim them, and I think this might be the way to do it. Even if no one watches it, even if it's just for me, it will sort of get a little bit back of a little bit of the innocence back that was lost over the years, which would be really good for my mental well-being. So that's what it will basically be about. Like I said, I am on hormones now. I've left it way too late. I'm 29, but hey, you'll see some changes if you stick around. Hopefully mostly good. Like I said, I've been cripplingly depressed lately. And considering going to like a doctor to talk about self-harm and stuff. I won't talk about that too much, but I will bring it up. I will try and make all videos quite clear what they're going to be about. So most of it's going to be rambling, a lot of it just talking shit about me. If you guys have any questions, if you watch this, I would love that, because that'd give me something to talk about and answer. I've got the house to myself still for like another few weeks. I'm totally on my own as well, so yeah, bombard me with madness, please. Other than my own, that'd be great. And I guess that's kind of it. And then the other thing that I will be doing on this channel, this is where the shout out to S for DSBM comes from. This 90% of you are not going to care, 99%. But probably going to do DSBM album reviews, like short 5 to 10 minute album reviews for DSBM albums. At the moment, I'm listening to 2 DSBM albums every morning. I get up at like 6:30, 7, take some meds, and then come down and do like an hour and a half on me exercises. I've got a rower and a paddling machine, and then some exercises that I do as well. And I listen through a couple of DSBM albums while I do that every day. So we're going through phases, and there's good time to like sit and say what I love about them. So little album reviews here and there. And then just a final summary. 29, crossdresser, finally on hormones, left it a bit late. Lots of madness going on in here. Going to try and unravel it. If anyone wants to come along for that ride, thank you. I'm definitely not like a YouTuber. I'm not a big personality or anything like that. Just a very awkward, weird person, really. But I'm sure there's a couple of awkward, weird people out there as well. Yeah. It's going to be a bit random and rambly, but hopefully quite nice. And hopefully unpick some things. And there will be some proper topics at hand. In terms of the things I love, I like, obviously, makeup and clothes. You can't quite see the disaster that is this house, but all you need to know is there's, like, lots of chests of drawers and lots of wardrobes in this building which are entirely full, to the point where the sofas are covered in clothes. And a friend's attic is also chock full of clothes and makeup. So yeah, a bit of an obsessive when it comes to clothes. And music. They're really my things, music and clothes, and I really like baking. I do a lot of baking. We've made like a summer fruits drizzled loaf cake today. It looks, yeah. I can't really eat it, I'm not really allowed to eat, but, you know, it looks nice. I just need to give it away to people. I'll still be quite happy with that. I'll eat a little slice, don't get me wrong. I'm not a terrible, like, glutton for punishment. Not a terrible sado. Anyway, there you go. Jack Partridge, Lola Bharaiva, new channel. If you want to listen and watch, go ahead. Weird trans person. Lots of love.